Good
Hi,
evening,
Fiona.
guys. Hi. Thank you for joining us, Cleo.
No problem. Are we ready for our 8 o'clock session?
Yes, we are. Today we're going to be talking about how to make your application shine. We'll be back in bright moment.
So we're down and dirty on applications. Sienna, you're the new queen of applications.
Oh, it's been a long day, I can tell you that, Cleo.
You've seen a lot in just one day, I'm sure.
Yes.
I guess with the topic of applications, most people want to know how to make their application successful so they can get the property, right?
Exactly. Now,
Um,
with a few tips, we can show them how to get the property.
it's true because there's a lot of competition out there still, isn't there?
Definitely.
How many apps do you think would come across your desk in one day?
I would say around 6 to 10, depending
Okay.
if we did inspections that day as well. Usually, when we have open inspections or private inspections, we do receive quite a few after, depending also on the weather as well.
Yeah, so out of those applications, what I want to know is how many crap ones do you see?
Oh, we have a few. We do have a few. I mean, a lot of people don't even show us their ID, so we just pull it
Huge,
to the side.
huge. So supporting docs, they're super important in your application. And number one, your driver's license or your passport, yeah?
Definitely, definitely. And also requiring, employment details would be great. So relevant employment details so we're able to call bosses and managers so we can get more information on what they do in their daily basis. It's also great for us to know.
Yeah, totally. Do you get many applications where they have no employment or you can't get hold of their employee at all?
There is definitely some cases. However, mostly we just call those prospective tenants and they do provide us their employment details or they have significant savings.
Right. So it's not always full-time employment. I guess some people have just sold their home and they've never rented before and they might be retired.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. What else would make your application not be printed? Because, if you print it, it's a good one. If it's
Yeah.
not printed and you've tossed it to the side, what are those things that you've looked at that don't make the cut?
It's definitely, previous rentals they've done. If they have any previous rent, it would be great if we can contact either the landlord or the agency who managed that property if they did have a previous rental. That always really counts because we are provided the tenant ledger, therefore we know when they've paid their rent, if it's frequent, if it's not frequent.
Okay, so having a ledger from an agent would make your app better. Is that pretty much the
Definitely.
gist of it?
Definitely. So we have solid evidence and also it's proof that you pay your rent on time. So we can ensure as real estate agents we're putting someone in the property that will pay their rent.
Big one, especially with owners with a mortgage. They need and rely on that income. They have to have someone with like a gold star rating.
Definitely.
I guess, applying for a rental property is almost like going for a home loan. Like there's a lot of documents we need to strengthen the application. It's not just filling in the words on the app, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think also, presentation also matters a lot when it comes to putting your application in. Vocabulary, always just having a little bit of description of what you like to do, your hobbies, what you love, why you're moving is always great. So then we kind of get a little bit of an idea what kind of person you are as well.
Yeah, well, that you're going to fit the property because,
Definitely.
that sometimes we're fitting the right applicant with the right property. It's not always, just applying for any property and just putting the first person in there that's got a bit of, cash behind them.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with so much scope of significant of scope going into, like, there's so much research we have to do before we pop someone into a property. Because
So
as
with
property managers, we need to ensure that we're putting the right tenants in that property.
Totally. So what is the best application that comes across your desk? Like, what are the 5 top things you look at besides the ledger?
Definitely rental reference, as you said, employment references. It's also great to have,
Like a bank statement or something that
bank
shows your income?
statements. Also, as I mentioned before, a little bit also about yourself.
Yeah.
And if you do have a pet, providing us information so we're able to present that to the landlord, because having pets in the property can be a real issue if it's not done properly.
Oh, totally. Like a Great Dane in a 1-bedroom apartment, the photo might look cute, but you're like, the dog's
Is he
cute.
behaved? That's what we all think. Is he behaved?
And dogs get references too now. I've seen so many articles of the dog with the full blurb and his personality and where he goes during the day. So entailed, isn't it?
And it's great for us because then we're not having to run around and try to figure out, oh, is this dog okay? Is this tenant okay? It's great for us.
Another thing on pets too, not all properties where tenants apply with pets have the strata bylaw approval. We've had a few of those recently. What did you have to do?
We usually have to call the tenant itself and talk about, we need to provide the bylaws. Sorry, Claire, could you just repeat that question?
So do you email strata? Do you ask them? Because it's not just asking the owner, is it? You've got to get strata approval.
Of course, we're going to get strata approval, therefore that we need to get an application for the pet. And if they've already provided that in the application, it makes our lives way easier.
So good info. So if you've got a pet out there and you're applying, you need to have an application form for the pet that goes separate. That goes to the executive committee that form the body corporate within Strata. And it's not even always just because it's a pet-friendly building, whether or not your particular pet will get approved. I don't know. I haven't put any snakes in recently or, wild animals. But yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, now, Claire, do you mind if I ask you a question? Because I was actually wondering myself today about it. Now, I was wondering, does presentation do matter? Because we get a few prospective tenants coming into the office doing the hard copy applications. Do you think that would benefit getting the property itself, or would it matter?
Coming into the office and meeting the property manager with your application, if you really, really want it, is a great idea because, you get to have a candid chat. It's not just on paper. Of course, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get the property because it's not up to us, it's up to the owner. But for sure, because we don't always come to the open homes. You girls are always, out and about meeting people, but the property manager who's usually talking with the client doesn't really get to see or meet the people other than what you're telling us, So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I completely agree too. I think it's an awesome idea.
What about the ways you can apply? Is there more than one? Is it just realestate.com?
Well, as we mentioned before, you can come into the office and you can apply via hard copy. You can also apply by coming into the open inspection. We get your details and you will get sent a link. Tap on the link and you can just send the application off. And you can also go onto Real Estate or Domain or our website itself and they'll provide you the application on there.
So heaps of apps out there, ways to apply. I think
so many different resources.
That's great. And the main points are your supporting docs. I guess I'm intrigued with, when applications are crap and we don't really look at them much. What is it? Do many people, show you a bank statement with minus negative money and stuff like that on there? Because the rent side of it's quite important.
Well, only being here for a month, I haven't not seen any bank statements that did have any minuses on. I've only seen pretty good bank statements. I haven't specifically seen any bad ones. But it can definitely be a case, and I'm sure I'm going to go run into it at some stage.
Do you go through people's transactions to see like how often they go to Dan Murphy's or whatever, you know, a lot of money going out?
I don't think that's definitely my priority. When doing lease applications, I definitely more look at their tenant ledger if they do have one, or doing reference checks.
No judgment. No judgment here. I'm just saying, you know, well, it's true. When you go for a loan, they look at your, you know, your main access account to see how much you've got, you know, coming in and what you spend. I guess we're getting to that point now with clients because it's, you know, millions of dollars of investment property. They really need to vet these people moving into their property. So
Definitely.
I think, you know, having that crucial information at the start with your application will get through that first, second, third door.
Yeah.
What about people offering more money? Are we still doing that? Do you see that at all?
You know, it's always a great idea to go $10, $15 with your application, because it's definitely going to give, oh, who's this person? What are they like?
Yeah.
What's their income like? And it definitely impresses the landlord, because they're paying more
bit
money
extra
than
money. They can put that into the property later on.
But
Definitely.
it also cannot guarantee your spot at the property. We need to make sure that you're a suitable tenant, you are well behaved, and you do have current references we can base off.
Yeah. And what about personal referees? Is it always just mum and dad? You know, do you guys even call them now?
You know, has been some cases where we have students that are doing their first rentals. We always like giving a little call to them, just seeing if they are charging rent to their usually over 18-year-old son or daughter. So then we kind of get an idea of independence, and also if they're willing to pay rent on time as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So we've got all the supporting docs. We've got adding maybe a little bit more money if you can. If you've got a pet, put the application in with Strata. That's always good. That way you are sort of, you know, doing all the legwork and someone else isn't going to get ahead of you. Any other points you might think of that might get you over the line besides, you know, being beautiful and, you know, turning up flashy and
you know, a great attitude. I think if we give you a call and we say, hey, you know, we're going through your application, we're processing your application at the moment, and if someone's rude on the phone to us and they're like, well, I want it approved, rah, 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 we're going to kind of sit back and we're going to be like, okay, well, then if there an issue was to arise in that property, we know now that you're not very good with conflict.
Totally. You want to make our job easy, don't you, Sienna? God bless you. You're learning. That's so good. So be available too is important, I guess, being available on the phone. We've covered some of these topics before, but the actual paperwork of things, it's a lot more stringent now. We look at a lot more money, and we really need the full application in that first bit. No one wants to be calling, asking for dribs or drabs because you got another application that's full, right?
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope we've helped some people out there applying for property. I know it can be quite daunting, and I guess saving your details as well when you're applying for more than one property might be a good tip because you're forwarding more than one app. But yeah, and you're still loving it, Sienna. You love it.
It's hard work, but as you can see, I've got the best property manager, Cleo, and the whole team's been such a great help. You know, coming in here, I don't honestly feel like I'm at work. You know, a lot of people like to say, if you love your work, it doesn't feel like you're working, and it does feel like that. It does.
Yeah, no, and you're amazing, really, what you do every day. It's quite tedious, and going out to all the opens all the time, in and out, coming back, trying to get through all the applications. It's a big job. It's a big task, and you're very valued. And I hope we have a stack of apps to go through tomorrow that are full. And
there's a few on your desk, Cleo, just for you to look at tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Well, you have a great evening. Guys, I think that's a wrap for tonight. I can hear my daughter screaming in the background. I think I have to go now. But
thank you for joining us, Cleo.
Thank you. And thanks again, Sienna. We'll see you in the morning.
Will do. Bye, guys. Have a nice night.
See you.